Hey guys, Lennox Erihim here. I've been a Wally main ever since Wally has been introduced to the Constant, and I think that he's such a fun character to use. I heard that many people struggle to play with him, don't know how to manage his hunger, etc. So being a Wally main here, I would think that why not just make a guide about him. Alright, this is going to be a different guide from the other videos. This is because that I believe many other videos has been introduced his strengths, his weaknesses, his recipes, which I'm going to go more later on. But what I'm going to teach you is what kind of mindset you have when you're going to play as Wally, or how to manage his hunger and how to survive as Wally. Of course, there's many versions of how you're going to play him, so take this video with a grain of salt. No way is a right way or wrong way to play as him. So let me introduce you to Wally when he gets into the Constant. As everybody knows, Wally has a hunger drain which is 20% faster. So by 2 days, if you do the math correctly, he's gonna drain 185 hunger points. So with that said, I have made a formula to counter that, which is you need any recipe rotation that can cap above 185 hunger points. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, Wally always remember the last meal that he ate for 2 days, and just now we have established that for 2 days he's gonna deplete 185 hunger points. So with a recipe rotation that cap above 185 hunger points, we don't need to worry about his hunger drain. I believe everybody knows that meatballs restore 62.5 hunger, and it's easy to make one. If only there's another recipe that is similar to the meatballs. I'm not joking, guys. Let's talk about hunger points. Monster Tatar actually gives you 62.5 hunger, so it's actually equivalent to a meatballs. So, with that said, if you eat 2 meatballs and 1 Monster Tatar, it's gonna give you more than 180 hunger. Well, if you want to be very precise, it's going to give you 181 hunger points. This is because that the second meatballs that you're gonna eat is gonna give you 10% stats reduction. And then by eating a simple recipe that restores 37.5 hunger, you'll be good as golden. Hey chef, if I keep this rotation on, will I be good forever? No. Keep in mind that you'll be reducing health and sanity every time you do this. This is why I recommend this particular rotation during the early days. And then you can prototype any science that you want for 15 sanity. After that, I always follow up with simple recipe that give a good stat boost, such as fancy spiral tubers, butter muffin, guacamole, froggy bunwich, California rolls, well if you're going for fishing, spicy chili, and then for hunger, you go for kebabs or fistful of jam. And for the late game, you can replace a Monster Tatar with dragon pie, beefy greens, honey ham, bacon eggs, turkey dinner, barnacle linguine, starfish heads, and of course, the best, moqueca. I believe everybody is wondering, why didn't I mention meaty stew, fresh fruit crepes, or bone bouillon? Well, these recipes that restores 150 hunger, they are the resets for our recipe rotation. For an example, you have eaten 3 meatballs, and normally in our recipe rotation only requires 2 meatballs, so basically you fucked it up. Don't worry, you just need to eat one of the recipe that I mentioned that restores 150 hunger, and then you eat another different meal. It can be a butter muffin that restores 37.5 hunger. Then basically you don't need to worry the 2 days memory effect from Wally. The reason why I don't recommend this in the beginning of the video is because that getting 150 points of hunger recipes is quite difficult for beginners. This is why I don't recommend it. Now I've taught you on how to manage his hunger, now let's dive into what kind of mindset you should have. Wally is a chef, that automatically makes him a support character. Well, what does he do? He's a chef, he cooks. Well, isn't that easy? You just need to memorize the whole Wikipedia of Don't Stuff Together? Yeah, not just that, you also need to manage your own ingredient. What ingredient, you may ask? The raw ingredients that's from the ice box, salt box, and of course your chef pouch. You don't want to let them spoil because potentially it could be made into food, but now it's spoiled equals wastage. The more recipe that you memorize, the more flexible you will get. For an example, if you have a lot of vegetables in your base, you could make vegetable stinger to restore sanity, or maybe asparagus soup for health. If you have too many fruits, you can make fruit medley. These are some fine examples of what you can do with your crops, and I believe your teammates will thank you for it. That's it for my Wally guide. Before I end the video, here are some tips to help you little chefs. During the early days, make sure to make spiral tubers instead of creamy potato puree if you don't need the health. Do not right click your crock pot when you're holding a torch or a hammer, or else, well, you will regret it. It's okay to eat the same recipe for 2 times at once. Sometimes you will get desperate for hunger, and I will allow this. Butter muffin, guacamole, fancy spiral tubers, froggy bunwich, kebabs, fish sticks and trail mix requires twigs, so it's crazy good in the early game. Although Wally is a support character, he's still a beast during fighting. This is because of his spices and of course, vote gauche froid. So don't be afraid to fight, because fighting is essential for food as well. Spices are good, but you don't need to rush it for the early game, because it's pretty hard to get, unless you're going to fight a boss. Learning gardening is definitely helpful, because growing your own crops and then cook it is the best satisfaction. Being a chef is very tough, but never give up. That's it for this video. I might make more videos or tutorials like this in the future, so comment down below to give me some suggestions on what should I do next. Like or dislike this video to your heart content, cause any feedback is very much welcome. Hope you guys have a nice day, God bless, and goodbye.